It's another episode of the Peak Signing Agents podcast with me, DVO Derek Van Otten, and thank you again for tuning in. Well, I thought I would share with you what happened on my Saturday. So it was a very interesting Saturday. All right, so I actually did my meetup, my monthly meetup locally here, and interesting thing happened that morning. So I actually had two signings on a Saturday morning. One for me here locally and one that I was facilitating out in Tennessee. So it was a Saturday morning. I'm pulling up to my signing and my escrow officer emails me on a Saturday saying the notary hasn't showed up. And I was thinking, what do you mean? And I kind of was doing the math a little bit. I said, well, they're set for 10 a.m. in Tennessee, which will be 9 a.m. our time, and it's only 8:30. So, the notary won't be there for like another 30 minutes. And my escrow officer said, well, I think they're 2 hours ahead of us. I'm like, wait a minute. So I'm like, all right, let me look it up. What time is it in Tennessee? And it said it was an hour ahead of me. And I said, okay, what time is it in Chattanooga, Tennessee? I thought, let's be a little bit more specific. And they are 2 hours ahead of us. So I didn't know Tennessee had two time zones, apparently. I knew that like Texas did and Florida did, but I was a little surprised that Tennessee also had two time zones. So the notary wasn't 30 minutes early yet, right? They were like an hour and a half late. So I was like, oh no. So I'm trying to call and text the notary, no response. And I'm walking in to a signing with 170 pages. I'm like, oh, cannot be happening on a Saturday. And I gotta make sure these get there before last pickup. I gotta get ready for my meetup in an hour and a half. I was like, oh, this is not happening to me. Very stressful to say the least. Anyway, got through my signing, 170 pages, like I said, but took us like 25 minutes. Got it done. I ran out to the mobile office, which I'm recording in right now. Jumped in the back, turned on the Wi-Fi. I'm like, I gotta find another notary. I'm calling up notaries in the Chattanooga area. I'm calling a whole bunch of them up. No one's answering. It's Saturday. It's like 10 a.m. and no one's answering, which blows my mind. It just blows my mind when people don't answer their phone. Anyway, especially when you're in business. Anyway, no one's answering. I'm trying to drive. I'm trying to call notaries up. I'm trying to get to FedEx, and can't get a hold of anybody. I've called like a dozen notaries, pull up to FedEx, drop off my documents, get back in the mobile office, calling up some more notaries. Got a hold of somebody. Robert, Peak Signing Agent. And he's like, hey, he was like kind of fumbling with some stuff. He's like, hold on. I'm like, all right, no problem. I'm like, finally, I got a hold of somebody. I'm waiting. I'm gonna make sure I can talk to Robert. And so this first tip is for my signing agent or signing service owner friends. All right, when you're in a pinch like this, what I usually do when I'm calling is like, hey, I just want to know if you're available. In this case, I basically was laying on some thickness of I'm desperate, some desperation thickness I was laying on. I'm like, Robert, I found your profile and signing order. I also see you've taken the NNA course and the loan signing system course. He's like, yeah. I really need your help, brother. I'm in a pinch. I had a signing this morning. It's a seller package. It's like 22 pages. The original notary didn't show up. Man, I could really use your help. So I was laying on the desperation thick. And he's like, oh, all right, tell me more details. I'm like, hey, it's a seller package. It's 22 pages. It'll be so easy for you. They're not too far from your house. Can you do me a solid? Just use blue ink, print letter size paper, pay $100. And anyway, we're talking a little bit, and he goes, I know exactly who you are. He's like, I'll do it for you. In fact, I won't even charge you because I just want to do a good job for you. I'm like, listen, man, I can't have you do it for free. I really appreciate that offer, though. Anyway, thank you, and we got taken care of. So, Robert, shout out to you. You're a Peak Signing Agent, and you saved the Saturday. You saved the day, and guess what I did? I told all my signing service owner friends about Robert. You better believe I did. So I called him up later after my meetup. I said, hey man, hope you're Hope you're ready to get... Anyway, thank you again, but hope you're ready to get busy, because I just shared your information with a lot of my signing service owner friends, and they all marked you preferred, they said. So, anyway, kind of a little callback to last episode. But anyway, that's how my Saturday was starting off. And stressful, right? And I'm trying to get ready for this meetup, and I'm trying to look at scans, and anyway, got it taken care of. But I also told some people about that notary. They didn't show up. Now I didn't share their name. Okay, I'll tell you why. Because my mind doesn't always go to they flaked out on me. All right, I told a lot of my signing service owner friends the story. I just told them about Robert, who saved the day. I did not tell them about the other notary because I don't know what really happened. Okay, I never got a hold of him. He never texted me back, never called me back. And I try to stay optimistic. I think it's important that we all try to stay optimistic when it comes to business. And, right, like I was telling my wife, I told my wife the whole story. She was just like on the edge of her seat, like, what happened? And then what? Did we get it taken care of? And, I just told her, I said, I just hope that the original notary is okay. I don't know what happened. He might have been trying to go and do a fantastic job for us. And on his way there, he got in a car accident. I don't know. I hope that didn't happen. I mean, I hope he flaked on me, right? I hope he's not hurt. But that is where my mind goes sometimes. Is where it's just like, I want to think about the upside of things. You got to think about the positive side of things. And maybe he was on his way to do a fantastic job for us, and then something happened. Maybe he got sick. Maybe he woke up and just could not move. I don't know. Never heard back from him. Today is Sunday. Never heard back from him all day Saturday. I don't know what happened, but I try to look on the positive side of things because that's how you have to always try to think in life, not just business, but in life. Anyway, my meetup went fantastic. We just kind of talked about some of the people that were watching the conference, actually, the Loan Signing System conference from July. I just had people come up and share their takeaway. So some people were there live and some people watched it virtually, and just, hey, share with us your takeaway. And at the end of the meeting, Ashley came up to me and asked me a question. And I thought, this is what I want to share with you guys on this episode. And she wants to go out and she wants to market, and she just says, hey, I do a good job. It's just I actually have a full-time job. So her question to me was, how should I approach my marketing if I'm only available like after hours? So I thought I'd share with you our conversation a little bit, what I told her. And maybe this might help you, because I know some of you are probably wanting to go market, but you have a job and you're like, how can I do this? So I'll share with you what it is that I told her. And before I do that, real quick, if you haven't yet subscribed on YouTube, please do so. If you haven't yet followed or subscribed on the podcast platform that you are listening to this on, please do so. And if you don't mind, leave a review. I would appreciate that. This is the most consistent notary podcast out there with the most content for notary signing agents on all podcast platforms. So that would help me tremendously. Thank you. Anyway, she was telling me her schedule. And she goes, I can go after hours, but, this is my schedule. And she kind of gave me her schedule breakdown. And guess what was happening when she was telling me her schedule breakdown? It was going over my head. Like, I'm not going to retain this information one bit. I'm not going to retain your schedule. And so I'm like, okay, all right. I'm like, so you're more available after hours, like in the evenings times. And she's like, oh, but also on these days I can do mornings. And I'm like, listen, I interrupt her. I'm like, listen, Ashley, I'm not following along with your schedule. And if you're trying to tell me, we're having a face-to-face conversation right now, and I'm not following along with your schedule, I can't imagine walking into an office to market yourself and then and they're busy, right? You're taking them away from their busy schedule, away from their desk, to come out and talk to you in the lobby. And then you're going to try to explain to them your schedule. It's going to go over their head, right? So again, put yourself in the shoes of the escrow officer or the mortgage officer that you're trying to market to, and you're trying to break down your daily schedule and let them know when you're available. They don't want to know that. They want to know, can you do the signing or not? That's what they want to know. And I told her this. I said, imagine that they're gonna call you, but before they call you to offer you the job, or before they email you to give you the job, they have to think about your schedule first. Do you think they would want to do that? If I'm an escrow officer and I need a notary, am I gonna have to think about it? Am I gonna say, wait, okay, we need a notary. Let's call Derek. But wait, what day is it we need, and what time is it? Is that the time he's available? I don't remember. Where do we write down his schedule somewhere? No, right? They're not going to want to do that. They're not thinking about me, Derek, the notary. They're thinking about their client who's going to sign. Can we get them a notary to get to their place? That's what they're worried about. They're not worried about my schedule. And if they have to think about my schedule, they're probably not going to use me. And that was my advice to Ashley. And I said, listen, this is how I would mark in your situation. So you have a job. If they call you to offer you a job, and first I said, don't even tell them, just say you're a mobile notary. That's all you need to say. Just go out there and market yourself. Just let them know you're a mobile notary. Don't break down your schedule. So, for example, if you get off work at, I don't know, let's just say 4 o'clock. If you get off work at 4 o'clock and they call you for a 2 o'clock appointment, then this is how you counter. You just say, you know what, I'm actually booked at that time. And I said, because you are booked, right? You're at your job. You're booked at that time. You're there till 4 o'clock, so you're booked. I said, I'm booked at that time, but I can do 5 o'clock. Does that work for you? And if they say no, say, hey, I'm so sorry. Hopefully I can get you on the next one. I go, that's how you market yourself. Or that's how you counter when they ask you during your work hours at your job. That's how you counter that. And I said, they might want you in the morning. And so if they want you in the morning and they say, hey, can you do it at 10 o'clock? Say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm already booked at 10 o'clock because, you're at your job. But they say, but I'm available at 8 o'clock. Will that work for them? I go, so this is how you counter around your work schedule. So you still go out there and market. And then I said this is how you can market yourself, though. So if you wanted to be a little bit more specific to make it just easier, just make it a little easier, when you go to market, just say, hey, listen, I know a lot of people want to sign when they're done with work or after hours. They're busy, they got kids activities, it's hard for them to get away from work and come and sign. Hey, I can be your after hours notary. So basically you can market yourself as an after hours notary. Hey, weekends I'm available, after 5 p.m., the evenings, the night times, like I got you covered. I know you guys can handle everything here, but sometimes you need to get home and you can't handle it all. Hey, I'm the one to take care of them for you. Don't worry about it. So that is what I actually told her. I'm like, hey, that is how you can counter when you're trying to go direct marketing, but you have a full-time job, is just market yourself as the mobile notary. And again, I'll put the link below of how I do my marketing. I did that for the loan signing system. So if you're a student, you can watch that for free. And if you're not a student yet, but you want to still watch that, sign up using my affiliate link. But I'll put my marketing training there. You can just click on that if you're already a student, and boom, you'll see how I do my marketing. I'll put that there. And I just said, okay, so just go market. Just go market. And if they ask you during your working hour, just say, I'm sorry, I'm already booked at that. I'm already booked, but I can do it, at this time. Or just market yourself as, don't call yourself an after hours notary, but that's going to be your approach. Like, hey, if you need, a mobile notary, I want you to know I'm available. I know you're probably, you probably take a lot of care of everything, during the office hours, but after hours, when maybe the signers can't come, or they're working, they can't get off work, or they're busy with the kids, I can go take care of them after hours. Or if it's the weekend and that's the best time for them, but I know you need your time off with your family. Hey, on the weekends, I got you covered too. That is how you can market there. So that's what I shared with her. She really liked that. She's going to implement that approach. So I'm really happy for her to do that. And we had a great meetup, but I was a little stressed out during my meetup, worrying about what's happening out in Tennessee, because I also had to make last drops. I'm like, hey, you have to print. Actually, Robert, he was actually, why he was fumbling when I first called him is he was actually doing Uber Eats. He was delivering some groceries, and he was just walking up a flight of stairs, and my phone call came in. But he was willing to run back home, print, change. He just sent me a picture. I'm on my way. He's wearing his LSS grateful hat, his loan signing system grateful hat. He's like, hey, I'm on my way. So that was very cool of him. I actually sent that to Mark Wills, and Mark Wills was like, let's go. He was very thrilled to see that as well. So anyway, don't no-show for a signing. All right, it is so stressful on everyone. I mean, the signers were panicking, the escrow officer was panicking, me, the signing service, we were panicking. So, I mean, and it just looks bad. Don't miss a signing. I hope the original notary is okay, though. Anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in to another episode, and thanks for letting me share with you a little bit. I just was looking at the timer here. We got a little bit more time. Let me share a little bit more from my meetup, then, if you don't mind. I had a notary. We did a little bit Q&A after our meetup, and she had, her name is Amy. She asked a question. She said, "Hey, why is it that signing services are like net 30, net 60 days to pay? Like, I'm trying to go full time as a signing agent, but what I'm doing today, I'm not gonna get paid for like another month or two." And that's part of their Q&A. And Scott, he's also a peak signing agent here locally with us, and he said, "Hey, what I do." This is what he does. He says, I have a business line of credit. And so I just put everything on there. And I just know everything I'm doing in August, I'm going to see that money like in October. So I put money away knowing that. And I thought that was a great, thing of advice. You just think what you're doing today, you're not going to get paid until later. And then he made a good point. He said, "Hey, he's like, don't forget, you're in business for yourself now. You are running a notary business. All businesses are like on net 30 days, net 45, net 60-day pay." He gave the example of Costco. He's like, Costco's net 180 days, right? He goes, so the Coke that you're buying today from Costco, Coca-Cola is not getting is not getting paid for 180 days from now. 6 months from now, for the Coke that you just bought today at Costco. So he's like, all businesses are like that. And so then I chimed in and said, let me give you a couple different angles from it. As a signing service owner, when I'm invoicing my clients, sometimes the day of funds, they're cutting me a check. So, I mean, in 1 week, some of my clients are sending me like 10 checks a week, because they just do checks for every single one as soon as it funds. I said, but some of my clients, they have their accounts payable, accounts receivable department. They just give them the invoice. And so they just let the invoices stack up. And then, I'm just another invoice. They got utilities, and they've got insurance, and they've got rent, and they've got people, buyers and sellers they need to issue out checks to. Like, I'm just another person getting a check. So I don't know when I'll get my check. Sometimes I'm net 30 as well. I go, that's one perspective. Another perspective I've got is, let's just say I hire a notary. I look at the scans. Everything looks fine. We send it to title. Title looks at it. They think it looks fine. They send it to the lender. The lender looks at it. They look at it. It looks fine. Then their underwriters get it. Maybe a week later, they realize there's something wrong. Something's missing. And now I need the notary to go fix it. Well, if I've already paid them, what's their incentive to go back? So I told her, here's my solution to you, though. This is how you combat getting paid 30, 60 days later from the job you do. I said, here's the answer. Do a lot of signings. If you do a lot of signings, then it doesn't even matter anymore, because it's just flowing. It's just right in the beginning. If right in the beginning, when you're just getting started and you want to see those paychecks, but those paychecks aren't coming right away, that's when it gets a little stressful. But if you do lots and lots of signings, then I told her, every day for me, when I open up my mailbox, every day is payday. Now imagine, before being a signing agent, what's in your mailbox? Bills and ads, right? That's all that's in your mailbox, bills and ads. You don't even care. I don't know about you guys. I don't get a lot of mail, right? Because I pay most of my bills online. It's mostly like spam and ads. That's mostly my inbox. So before, I wouldn't check my mailbox for maybe once or twice a week. I would check my mailbox. Now I don't check my mailbox at all. My wife can't wait to go to the mailbox and open it because there's checks every day. Okay, so that's my answer to when you're expecting paychecks. How can you get those paychecks? Well, just do a lot of signings and then every day's payday. All right, thanks again for watching. Keep being the awesome signing agent you are, because you know what? You deserve it. And you are awesome. And I'm glad you keep tuning in. I appreciate you. And of course, I'll catch you on the next episode. Take care.